Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Much Obliged Podcast. If you could like, subscribe, share the video, that would be massively helpful. And if you could follow us on all of our social media accounts, that would be brilliant as well.
We're also starting a Patreon, so the link for everything will be below. So the Patreon will have extra stuff, and if you could subscribe to that, then we don't have to. We can do more stuff because we'll have more money. And we won't have to do the shit we don't like doing to get money. So that'd be much obliged if you could do that.
Yeah, much obliged. Hello, and welcome to the Much Obliged Podcast with me, Kieran Lawless, the fantastic Dom Hatton-Woods, and our very special guest for this week's episode, Henry Michael.
Absolute
Henry,
pleasure.
Welcome.
Oh,
thank you for coming.
it's a pleasure. It's always been a dream of mine.
Thing is,
ever since last week.
Now, when you say the Much Obliged Podcast, I think it's not as good as board games, is it?
It's not.
And
as
I
good
came
as
up with the
board
Much Obliged Podcast. I was very happy with it.
What was the idea behind the Much Obliged idea? What
I
was
think
that?
it's funny. Much obliged.
It's good.
Because I was going to start it by myself, and I thought Much Obliged, but then I said Kieran, and then he couldn't come up with anything.
Well, two is better. On your own, that is just like basically dating comedians intensely, isn't it? Having to sit opposite one. I mean, some people do that.
I don't have the charisma to carry that, or either.
Hey, man, you said this. I think you're extremely charismatic.
Oh, thanks,
very
man.
charismatic.
I don't think
handsome.
I just don't. What happens is after about an hour in a conversation, I lose interest.
Have you ever had a first date that's gone so badly you've had to quit?
So I'll tell you what happened. Is I went on a first date with a girl. This is I went on a first date with a girl from Thursday. That app Thursday. Do you know what this is?
No.
It's a dating app.
Talk to me like I'm an old man, basically.
It's a dating app that ironically only works.
Do you know what an app is?
I've heard of those.
The NHS app, yeah.
Yeah.
But the
you fax them to each other in the NHS.
So you can only you can only use it on Thursdays, and you can match on the Thursday, and then you have to organise a date for that Thursday, and then if you don't do anything, you lose their contacts.
I mean, that sounds awful.
It's great. No, it's great because there's a sense of urgency.
Also, I don't know that they can impose that you have to organise a date for that.
No, but the
like
thing
if
is,
you send a message
yeah.
going, "Hey, would you want to meet tomorrow?" They'll go, "No."
Yeah, or
the app moderator will
should meet after midnight.
No.
What you have to do is like get their details that day, otherwise you lose them on the app.
Right.
So yeah, midnight on Thursday.
And they also have events that are on Thursdays, which are great with singles events.
I mean, again, that does feel like when you were saying where the name came before the idea. I mean, why is that? Why Thursday?
Thursday's the new Friday.
Yeah, that's.
I went to one of the events in London. Ironically, with the girl I'm dating, we went and it was packed, rammed,
Full of Thursday people.
full of mostly women actually, which I thought was ironic. Not ironic, but strange.
I mean, fine. I mean, I'm not sure urgency helps the dating scene, does it? I mean, is
Because on Tinder,
actually,
I think there's so much like, oh, we'll meet at this point, and they never meet.
And actually, the thing about Tinder is if you are a little bit shy or worried about the whole thing or self-conscious, that you do dwell on it. So you will match with somebody and then just dwell. Not do anything. And then think, oh, I'll message them later. I'll message them tomorrow. I'll message them when I have a really good idea of what to message them.
Yeah.
And then you never message them, or it gets to the stage where like, was it weird to message them after a month?
Yeah,
or you just have to start again.
How was your pandemic? Yeah.
Anyway,
so...
Well, I should just quickly say I met my girlfriend on Tinder. We've been together 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah. My opening line was generally, I went, what's a lady like you doing in a 50-mile radius like this? And they got off the ground.
This is the kind of... This is why he's a comedian.
And then she was like, oh, fuck that. And by the way, I'm a doctor. And she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't know the rules. She swiped the wrong way.
Yeah.
But what happened was I met this girl from Thursday.
Yeah.
We didn't get on at all.
Okay.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And then I just filmed a podcast, the one I was doing.
Yeah.
And so what's your podcast about? And I thought, right, I need to end this date as soon as possible. Politely. So I said I interview strippers. And then she obviously didn't want to see me. So it just left.
No, that sounds awful.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was awful.
Fair enough.
But I think interviewing a stripper would be quite interesting.
I think
I'm
not sure it would hold water as a recurrent theme. I think after one interview with a stripper, you're going to be treading similar ground by next week, I think.
I don't know.
I'd have to go to a lot of strip clubs to get the strippers.
Yeah, the thing is...
interested to do the podcast.
You'd have to know...
Do you want to dance? No, but do you want to come on the Much Obliged podcast?
Yeah, you'd have to know a lot of...
In Chester. Do you want to come to Chester for no money?
We're discussing bronzer on your tits. Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
But I think it'll be interesting to find out the behind life of being a stripper.
Yeah. And you assume they all have the same story.
Well,
they all have their own unique...
I did meet a stripper once, actually, And she again was sort of a bit secretive about it. And she was kind of a university student. She was using it to fund through university and stuff. But none of her friends knew. Which would be tense, isn't it? Like if any of your mates came to the strip club, oh God, well, whatever.
Well, a lot of them, I've been in a few, and a lot of them work at so if they live in Bournemouth, they'll work at one in Bristol.
You have to commute to strip.
But they earn a lot of money.
Yeah, I guess you do, yeah.
It's interesting.
Well, sometimes.
Also, have you been to a lot of strip clubs? You're about 17, aren't you?
I'm 22.
Oh, right.
I went to them when I was 18.
By the way, we finished our last podcast. If anyone is watching this in chronological order, we finished this by talking about strip clubs.
With Kevin?
With Kevin.
Oh, we did, yeah.
Yeah. And now it's just immediately like, hello. Anyway, where were we?
Well, that should be your theme, that the next guest has to carry on your conversation.
Maybe we could create a monopoly for strippers monopoly. Welcome to Platinum, you're in Platinum Lace. £20 for a vodka Coke.
Yeah. Exactly. Pass go. Yes, I think the Monopoly theme, you're set on it, aren't you, the Monopoly theme?
I am.
So just to contextualise this, we were going to have a game of Monopoly for this podcast.
Well, that was going to be the thing. We were going to test it anyway.
Yeah, so we were going to for it. So we actually invited Henry here to have a game of Monopoly.
There was all admin involved.
Yeah, so
next time, perhaps.
We may well be playing board game with our next guest, but we teased Henry. We got him in the door with the promise of playing Monopoly.
Went to Argos and bought one.
Yeah.
£20.
We bought
12 years of NHS service. They're like, do you want to come play Monopoly?
I really put a lot of effort behind it because I went into a comic book shop and they had Friends Monopoly, Walking Dead Monopoly, loads of niche monopolies, and I thought, let's start classic.
Basically, so what happened was we wanted to bring Henry here so we could explain to him why the NHS needs to be privatised. And we thought the best way to do that is by playing Monopoly to show them that the market is the better way of organising. That is a lie.
That's a good way.
The other way, I do not want that clipped.
Because if we phone for an ambulance, they might make it in time for your next podcast guest. That might be another way of doing it.
Got to know something about Monopoly. Monopoly, when it was designed.
Yeah.
And I didn't look this up to play Monopoly. This is something that I just knew. But when Monopoly was invented, it was an anti-Monopoly game. The whole game was designed to destroy monopolies and to point out what a bad idea they were.
Okay.
And then eventually the game was bought by like a board game
company. A Monopoly.
You know what's more fun? You know what's more fun than showing people that a collective sense is better for society as a whole. So it's whoever wins is the person who wins.
So what's the story behind the little pieces then? Do you know what the story is there behind the little dog and the eye and all that?
I don't.
Dom, you love Monopoly?
Well, I do, but I haven't played in a while. But I would love to play, but it's just very hard to get people to commit to playing game Monopoly with you.
It's so long, it takes forever.
What I'm saying, I think if I could, I would love to make that a thing of the podcast and you play finished classical and then you go on to Friends Monopoly.
Yeah.
Because you could get 3 episodes out of one game Monopoly easily.
I think
6 hours.
You could.
Yeah,
you could.
Whether you do.
I think it would be. I think it would be fun because this is but there's so many podcasts like this. I want a thing.
This is we're on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, don't slag off your own podcast as you're doing it. I mean,
we're starting the podcast and going, the thing about podcasts like this is that there's
so many anonymous.
I wouldn't watch this.
All right, you're not going to get a Patreon out of this, are you? If you're doing that,
no, this is it. Like, you have to join our Patreon to find out how shit podcasts.
Yeah, if someone said to me,
"Oh,
listen to this podcast, it's free white blokes talk," and I go, "Well, I can listen to any." But then if they said it's free people playing Monopoly, but fuck me, I want to get on it.
Yes, that's true. Well, yes, okay. I sort of see your point.
Yeah. So I want a niche, is what I'm saying.
You want a niche?
And I think that could be the niche.
Maybe the niche could be that every podcast episode you brainstorm how to improve your own podcast.
Oh, that's a good idea, yeah. Thing is, we play Monopoly, I go, this is shit.
Yeah.
That's
true. Every week, the next guy's in, he's really into it, and you're like, this is rubbish, isn't it? You've got nothing to say. I've got nothing to say. No one knows who you are.
I don't think I enjoy much.
Ironically, one of the problems that we were facing is that we wouldn't have had a monopoly on the 3 white men playing Monopoly podcast market.
We wouldn't have a monopoly.
We wouldn't have a monopoly.
There are other people doing that.
Basically, there would be other people doing it.
Yeah.
And so we were worried that we wouldn't have the
monopoly. We said, but I think that, I think I'm going to find a way to make it work. I don't care what it takes.
Yeah.
Well, it takes Monopoly.
If anyone says I'd kill them.
Fair enough.
Take them down to Mayfair.
Yeah.
Put me to jail.
Big defamation case.
And not pay the £200 to get them out.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. You even know how much money it costs to get
Mate, I'm clued up. Because I played it with my gran, and it's fine, but I fucking hate it. So after an hour, it's unbearable.
You hate her or the game?
Her.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. That is the worst answer.
His entire comedy career is of him trying to find a way to play Monopoly without his bloody grandmother involved.
What's wrong with your grandma?
Yeah, she's just a bitch.
Oh, hey.
Already.
My dad brought his new girlfriend to meet her, and she had like a nose ring.
Right.
And she goes, "What's that on your nose? You look like a pig." My gran said, and then they broke up. And a few weeks later, my dad comes back, and her name was Natalie.
Yeah.
He's like, "Where's Natalie?" And Dad goes, "Oh, we broke up." And she's like, "Oh, I really like Natalie."
It's just for that generation where they just say it how it is.
They can get away with
generation.
whatever they want. And then another time I worked for my dad for a while. It was like a building, and we had to go and like replace her alarms or something. And she's got 2 dogs, and I was like, "Granny, the alarms are going to go off now. Get the dogs inside." And like, it's gonna be a few minutes, and it's gonna be going off. And then she said, "All right, fine." And then the dogs literally shit themselves. So she cleaned up the shit and dustpan and brush, and they came up to me and put it in my face. I was like, "When's the alarm gonna go off, Dom?" Put it in my face. She's a complete bitch.
But
I would like her inheritance. That's what I would like.
I mean, I hope you just edit this about a bit when you do a funeral eulogy. But because I work a lot with old people, and they do just say what they want to say, which I quite like.
My theory is being young, being like 8 and under, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Being 80 and over, you can.
Yeah, it's carte blanche. It just
Because you go, "Oh, he's young. Oh, he's old."
Yeah, exactly. You can't get cancelled in your 90s, are you?
No.
I mean, it's fine. One old Emma once said to me, she went,
Who's Emma?
No, so she an old lady said to me, "You're
Is that her name?"
No.
No.
Well, it might have been. I've changed my name for.
Did you say Emma?
No, I don't enunciate when I speak. That's what I did. So an old lady said to me, she went, "You're a very handsome young man." And I said, "Thank you." And then the immediate next sentence she said was, "And doctor, I think I'm losing my mind."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's charming. Thanks for that." Yeah. Very nice of her.
Maybe that was the one bit of sense she had left.
That might be
the only thing she had left. Because you are a doctor. We have not yet put that. So you are a doctor / comedian. And I will wager on first dates I know which comes up first.
It depends how badly it's going, yeah. It's just separate times, of course. Obviously, not much room for making jokes on the wards. But yeah.
Is there not would it be true that there is a term for this, but, if you're in a job that faces horrible situations enough, you do have to be quite...
Yeah, you have to have
There's a lot of joking that goes on behind the scenes that you would never want.
Have you had to tell people that their relatives has died?
Of course, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not on this podcast, I wouldn't do it that way. Just a shout out to the following families from the miniature.
That inheritance is coming in.
Yeah.
Gathered you
that would be good.
Well, I've had to break bad news all the time. Yeah, they train us to do it. Actually, at med school they get in actors. It's quite funny. So, you think you've had a bad day at work? Imagine being told that you're dying 14 times badly by people who can't do it properly.
So do they have to then react differently? If some of them will just be like, some of them will just slump over.
It's amazing.
Some of them will be like, "You don't fucking, you didn't do anything."
And they're often
I hope the sound of that wasn't that horrific.
But they're often not maybe the most successful actors because obviously they're doing like med school practice, bring brand new. So you get people in, and they're maybe not the best actors, and you'll be like, "Oh, I'm really sorry to say that you're," and they'll be like, "Ah." And you'll be like,
"Yeah,
am I meant to be pretending
you are
that,
not Daniel Day-Lewis?
Yeah, you're not gonna. I can see why you didn't make the bill.
Hang on, let me just see if your chair's rotating in a good way. It's bothering me.
Is it bothering you?
It is.
I feel like it's okay. Exactly. This will be cut out of the Patreon.
It'll be included in the actual version.
Of course.
Cut out of the Patreon.
This is the great stuff.
You only
My
get
chair
the edit
positioning
of shit of everything going wrong.
Yeah,
and then it's like, join the Patreon if you want something good.
I just think that really could be a good thing.
What's that?
Monopoly board games on the board games.
I mean,
board.
Do you get commission from Monopoly or something?
No.
Okay.
I had to buy the kit.
Yeah.
Like the opposite.
Wouldn't even get a free kit.
But board, I mean, it could be really. Do you know what I mean? That's interesting. But it's different.
I think it's very good. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I think I'd like to see you on the BBC with a chat show. Real
They'll
celebrities.
be going, what? So I'll be going,
yeah.
Board games.
Exactly.
Going, what?
Yeah.
No, listen. Dom, that sounds awful. No, listen. Board
games. And Chris Evans is like, I do have a new film to promote. And he's like,
no, board games. No, board games. And then he'll walk out.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Also, the thing is, what you're saying there, heavily reliant on it being written down so they can see what board games.
Yeah.
Board games. Board games, though.
No, you're not
board games.
Board
games.
Games.
Like,
none of you are laughing.
Really
hands up if you know how
gang.
I'm spelling it. Hands up. All right, any of you guys? No, I think it's a good pitch. So in terms of jobs, are you saying that you work in an office thing then?
I want to go back to actors. I think that's funny.
Back to actors in the
Do you have the same actor who has to go through different scenarios? So you'll get like, we're going to have an actor in who's going to, and then it's like the guy. So scenario 1, they hated their relative and they're thrilled.
100%.
And it's like, yes, the bitch is dead.
100%. And also, I wonder if those guys go to hospital, are people like, Not going to get me this time. You know, your ass hurts. Get out of here, you little scamp.
So how are you meant to react in these scenarios?
Well,
you're like,
you're not meant to make jokes. Could say she had a stroke of bad luck. No,
if in a real life situation,
I'm laughing, but
this is why you
ill.
didn't make the bill.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? My mum is dead.
Yeah.
Well, you're not reacting very believably to it. I'll tell you.
I guess the alternative is they'd have to actually wheel in actual families, which obviously wouldn't make sense. But so it's.
But it's meant to replicate real life scenarios.
Totally. And what's amazing, and people doing it, people breaking bad news badly is probably one of the funniest
things. I think what you
things.
should do is say, sorry to break it to you, your mum has passed away, but hang on a minute. Board games.
Right. Yeah, I know if you just cry a little bit quieter, would this be easy with Monopoly in front of you? Yeah. That's what I want to say.
Great.
Although there's a podcast called Board Games.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm going to do now in my practice will be like, I know this is very hard for you, but my friend does have a podcast involving board games. And this might take your mind off it.
I've been on it.
Yeah.
Bored.
Yeah. And
You're taking this very badly.
Yeah.
Do you want to play the Friends edition of
yeah, exactly. No, not BOAR.
How about the Walking
Yeah.
Dead edition?
Yeah.
It's funnier written down. We'll talk about it after later. Just go and you go and do you know.
Board
But
games.
interesting.
They didn't laugh. They didn't get it. Well, their mum had just died. Are you sure that wasn't what?
I tell you, but if you if you do get a laugh in that context, you know it's got legs as a name, I think.
Do the people in the ward know that you do comedy?
So I don't. It's not like a secret, but it's also not something I publicise because when I'm properly in the middle of it, you sort of want to be taken reasonably seriously. You know, you don't want like a clown being like, "Whoa." You know, you have to be like pretty. You know, so kind of no, it's not a secret. Also, no one cares. I think is the driving factor. But one of my consultants found out I did it recently. Actually, all he'll do is talk to me about comedy.
Find out?
And I'll be like, yeah, but do I thrombolyse this woman? And he'd be like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know another one that's really
They
fun.
see a video.
I haven't shown them any videos.
How did they find out you did it though?
I think, I applied for a year off from medicine.
Really?
I had to sort of give a
To
reason.
do comedy?
Yeah.
When?
Coming up.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is so interesting, but yet I still want to know thrombolyse.
Oh, that's when someone has a massive clot and you have to give them like super blood busting drugs.
Right.
So
I mean, I know this has got onto a really interesting segment, but all in my head was like, thrombolyse?
So you're going to have a year of
Was this like a first aid thing again?
Yeah,
Should I
exactly.
thrombolyse this woman? Yeah.
Exactly. Hello.
So you're going to have a year of no work?
As a comedian, probably, yeah. That's probably what's going to happen.
No, you're not going to work.
No, I'm going to do some shifts and stuff.
Yeah.
Do some. But it's for me. It's I want to give it a go. I mean, I don't
That's
have you
great,
from my
man.
side like you, young fellas.
No, but I really think you should do that. Because I've told you
Thanks,
I think
man,
you're
I'm
very
gonna.
good for a while.
I
The
already
thing is,
have
people always
invested.
say to me, like, how would you do so much? But I don't have any other commitments. That is the thing.
True. I mean,
They
yes.
say you're, like people call me hardworking, but really, I do a lot less work than most people. I just do a lot of work in comedy. So
Well, in the evenings is your work, I guess, isn't it?
yeah, but I don't work. Like I don't have a normal job, so it's a lot
Mm.
easier for me.
I see what you're saying. Well, yeah. I
To
mean,
wake up at 12.
for me, it's like I want to just give it a push, and it might not go anywhere.
I think it will.
But I hope it will. I think so. It'd be.
We both think you're great.
Hey,
I
man.
didn't
No, I
know
think
that-
you're great. That's what I think.
You've never
We
seen
did.
it. Oh,
We
yeah.
gigged
I
for
have
the
one
first
once.
time ever a couple of weeks ago.
You text me saying you were great.
Thank
yeah,
you.
genuinely. Because I run, doing the gig on a Tuesday night. There's a lot of acts doing 10 minutes. You won't have seen them all before. Sometimes there's new names, and you kind of
Yeah,
go, oh, these be new acts. Hopefully they'll be all right. They'll be able to hold up. It's just like, all right, there's this new guy I haven't heard. Hopefully he'll be fine. Gee, I was like, the fuck is this guy? This is
Oh,
great.
thank you.
Full on. They take time.
You
I
text
had
me.
no idea who this guy was. He was fucking smashed.
Thank
it.
you. That's my secret power that no one knows who I am.
Yeah.
I'm supremely
I
anonymous.
will. That's not a power in comedy.
Can be power.
It can't be.
After a bad gig, sometimes I've thought, I
That's
wish nobody
power.
knew who I was. This room of people who've just seen me perform, I wish they didn't know who
Well,
I
I
was.
think they forget pretty quickly.
They do.
Yeah.
That is the saving grace.
But that's the thing. It's quite anonymous
I'm
comedy.
shit,
Where you,
but forgetful.
you worry about it. But you got, especially something if you're doing like a gong show, a big bill of people.
Oh, no one gives a shit.
No one cares. I used to. It was funny to me that when I first started, I was like, I need a stage name because I'm going to get so famous that it's going to get in the way of my work. And thankfully, that hasn't been the case. So it's been okay. It's like when people who go, I don't want to go to the gym because I want to get too big.
Yeah.
It's like
Would
probably
you
be all
quit
right.
Your job to do comedy full time if that was
I
because you'd have to earn a lot to match your.
Yeah, so I think no, probably realistically. I think I wouldn't want to, but also I don't think the BBC aren't emailing me every 5 minutes being like, please
But
do
would
one?"
you go? Could you go part time and do comedy?
Yeah, that I think the 50-50 split,
Okay.
I quite like teaching as well, teaching medicine. So a bit of everything. That was the life plan of sort of a third teaching medicine, a third doing medicine, and maybe a third comedy.
What kind of doctor are you?
A very compassionate one. Thank you for asking, Karen.
That's not what some actors have told me.
Absolutely.
The reviews you gave to them acting out their
unbelievably
their disappointment.
bad. Exactly, almost as bad as comedy.
Have you brought an actor and gone, you need to tell them that you have to thrombolize their mother, and then they have to mimic not knowing what the fuck you're talking about.
And exactly. And I go, it's and I do the whole diagram with my hands. And I go, it's like being punched in the face by clotbusters.
Do you have to do like, are you in-house, do you have to do like your 4 on, 4 off, 12-hour shifts,
so
night shifts,
yeah,
that whole jazz?
Whole shebang. So often I can't do gigs because I'm doing night shifts and that kind of stuff. So
and is it 12-hour shifts?
It can 13. Yeah, it can be. Not every day. So I mean, so basically, this is a bit in depth.
They give you a Sunday off just to
think about your life and say hello to your kids. Guy, you're 7 now.
I don't know. I didn't even think I had a child.
God, I have 2. I forgot I had 2. So mostly it's 9 to 5, and then every now and then, like 1 in 8, I'll do 13 hours. So so tomorrow I'm doing 13-hour shift.
Shit.
Shit.
13 hours is too long.
It's quite long.
I didn't even know there were 13 hours in it, though.
There you are.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, you sleep for most of them. So there are a few in the morning there. So yeah, it can be busy, and it is, you're always on your feet and stuff. You're not like, I'm not sat, mostly I'm moving around and doing stuff. So yeah, it can be very busy, but then you get your days off to make up and everything, and there are other people who work longer hours and stuff, I'm sure, but yeah, it can be pretty intense. You got any medics in the family or anything?
No, God, no.
No.
I barely have any brains in the family. That's not true. That's not true. My sister's very smart.
Is she?
Yeah.
Have you ever... No.
You're going to ask me, have I ever killed anyone on a podcast? Yeah, I reversed over a lady in the car park on the way here.
Okay.
No.
He thrombolized.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually what
I just thrombolized on the way, exactly. No, but if I had, I probably wouldn't be like, I've got a funny one for you. Oh, God. I mean, it was gross negligence, the court were right.
Yeah.
No, but also I probably wouldn't, tell you if I had. If I came in all red, bleary-eyed like that, just every time a siren goes off looking around, maybe I have. But no, yeah.
I think he's lining you up to ask, will you? My grandmother is.
Yeah. Getting Piers Morgan here by this guy.
There's a lot of inheritance coming my way.
Yeah, exactly.
You just want to inject some Coca-Cola into her veins.
Exactly, yeah.
I thought that was insulin.
Would that kill someone? Yeah. Put Coca-Cola in their veins?
I think injecting Coca-Cola into somebody's veins would not help.
It wouldn't make them younger.
Would it kill them? I don't think so. I don't know.
No, probably not, is the answer to that. I mean, I imagine that would have been thought of had that.
I'll get something stronger then, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean,
you didn't ask if it would cure anything. Like, I would imagine somebody would have thought of it if it would cure something.
But then there are things in medicine they just discovered that it helps. And I don't know how they discovered it. Like, there's a painkiller you can give rectally that's better than... who was the first guy who tried that? Do you ever think that, like, the first people who tried... Like, I sometimes think, like, who's the first person to, like, test the condom?
I think the first people that came up with saying is what I think.
Huh?
I think the first people that came up with saying is what I think about a lot.
Like what sayings?
Like, we get on, like, a house on fire.
I think the people around him were like, that's insensitive. Bill's just...
It doesn't make any sense, does it?
That was a week ago.
Yeah.
Or...
yeah, their house was burnt to the ground. This house being burnt down is a lot like our friendship. Because we get on like a house on fire.
Or the saying, 2 wrongs don't make it right.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
What I think is the person that came up with that did something very wrong.
You think so? And everyone's mates were like, no, it's just
because it diffuses every situation, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't care. She was under 15. Ain't cool.
I had a Chinese the other day, and the fortune cookie. Right, this is both not a fortune and not life. It just said sometimes it's better to apologize. What kind of fortune is that? It basically goes, if it is a fortune, it's you are going to do something really bad. You're going to do something bad. And you're going to have to think about it.
It's always broad. It's never specific, is it? It's never like you should pack in your job, Keith. It's always very...
It should just be at least a fortune. Like,
your friends hate you, Henry.
Even if it had just been like, something exciting will happen to you. That's vague.
Yeah.
But like, because then, assuming I do anything again ever, I could say, oh, something exciting happened to me.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to do something pretty bad.
When I was a kid, I used to eat the paper of the fortune so it would come true.
Really?
I don't think it really had an effect.
Well,
no,
you do sometimes need to apologise for that horrific stuff you've done.
So that is pretty. I remember as a kid going to like the Roman baths.
Used to eat quite a lot as a kid. I feel. Used to eat quite a lot as a kid.
I used to eat a shitload as a kid, but I'm very sensitive about it, so I won't talk. It's not a massive joke. But I went
to jokes about being fat as a kid. That's what
I do. I was very large as a kid. Obviously, you can see now that I've lost it.
Well,
I mean, not documentary large, but large enough that like you could be like.
Was it because of any health, or you just were fat?
Any what?
Health conditions, or you were just fat?
don't know, really. I just sort of just quite liked food.
Okay.
No, I was big.
That's the best reason.
Especially, a lot of people were big. Now, again, no offense to Arsenal, were you big as a kid? Not that you should be.
I was a bit big.
You were big as a kid.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I got called fat a lot.
Did you? Okay.
That was
By your
maybe
gran.
before I was 12. By gran, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was fairly chubby, yeah.
Yeah. I was,
You,
yeah.
No, I was the exact opposite. Scrawny.
Really?
As fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
Super skinny kid. No, it wasn't like a nickname at school, but I played with like an under 10s, under 12s football team for a little bit, and they used to call me Lollipop because I was so
That's quite
skinny.
sweet.
And it's just like, oh yeah, Lollipop.
Maybe it's because you were colourful.
No,
That's sweet.
no, because that would have implied they would have been nice to me the rest of the time, and then just Lollipop was
It's not because the trainer used to lick your face.
What?
No.
Oh well, he did, and he used to say it tasted of raspberry.
There you are.
But no, I
read about
the
him.
other. Because then in my when I went to uni and like all through my 20s,
Yeah.
I ate crazy badly.
Okay.
As soon as I left home, I'm like, well, it's takeaways from here on out. So I should be massive now,
Yeah.
but my natural disposition was so skinny
You've ended up.
that I've ended up I ended up now having like a bit of a gut. And
Yeah.
I'd like to get rid of the bit of a gut. So I've got a gut. It's like, oh, I'm a bit fat now. It's like, why have I got a bit fat? Oh, it's that it's a solid 17 odd years of nothing but rotating between pizzas, fried chickens, and curries.
I used to put mince pies at the bottom of a bowl and then fill it with white chocolate ice cream.
Oh, wow.
That's about for my third heart attack at uni, basically. But
Did you have a heart attack?
No.
Oh, there you are.
No, I didn't. But
What uni did you go to?
I went to Cardiff University.
Okay.
So actually, it's nice. We're near the Welsh border, aren't we? Here,
What were you doing at Cardiff University?
medicine. Couldn't catch me out.
He did English literature.
Yes, I was studying being a fraudster. You got me.
Fuck it.
Yeah, no, your medicine. Weirdly enough, yeah. I mean, things were pretty bad
How
in the
long did
NHS,
that
but you
take?
still need to be qualified. But 5 years.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Everyone always thinks the stat always changes. Oh yes, it's 38 years at uni, isn't it? Like, no, it's fine. But so you do year 5.
Still a long time.
It's a long time, but uni's great. Uni's good fun. I mean, that was back in the day, in the old days, of course, before TikTok, youngster. At where we used to pay £3,000 tuition fees, and future was around the corner. You had to have an iPhone and an iPod. That's kind of thing.
Oh, different times.
Different times.
Anyone that has an iPhone and an iPod now is just stupid.
Just
Why would
stupid.
you have to?
Just too many pockets. But yeah, so I went to Cardiff University many years ago, and that was lovely fun. That was good stuff. I was in the same year as that international rugby player Jamie Roberts.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who he is either. Yeah, but he was in my year.
He was a Welsh centre.
Yeah.
He was very, very good.
Meet him.
I never did because he sort of went through all the because they let him take loads of years off because he was like Wales is basically number one person, so I think his med school experience took something like 7 years or something. He would be allowed to defer it because he was doing international rugby. Whereas if I wanted to do comedy, I wasn't allowed to defer it.
Were you doing comedy then?
No, but I was doing a radio show and things like that. But
When did you start comedy?
I started actually. It's only 3 years. Well, with the pandemic, 4 years with the pandemic, and I couldn't work during the pandemic, obviously, because I'm a bit busy. Don't know if you read the news, but so yeah, I've done about. It was fine. Yeah.
What was it actually like during the? Was it awful?
It was, it was reasonably shit. Yeah. I mean, it was busy. We've all had busy days at work, but
Did you get COVID at any stage?
I did. I got it right towards the end. So my pandemic experience, it's the first wave, I was just locally, which is being a part-timer. Started doing comedy. I felt like a bit of a dosser, really. I was basically, my department didn't get any of it. I felt like a bit guilty. People were applauding me on a Thursday. I was like, and then, going to the front of Tesco's, I need it. And then get my shit and then back. And I forgot something, sorry. And then back around the front, whatever. Not really contributing.
What do you mean? They gave you like...
Yeah, you go to the front of NHS workers, the front of queues.
Oh, really?
During the pandemic.
Did you have to be wearing a uniform?
No, you had to have your badge.
Yeah.
And then
you immediately thinking,
yeah, that's what
you were immediately like, exactly what level of proof do you need in order to get to the front of this queue?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, you need to actually be in NHS.
Yeah, you'd have a badge. Also, this is the past, so the
thing is, what I've learned is that you can ask.
Yeah.
To go to the front of pretty much any queue, and you can do it. Like when I was in an airport, I was really late for there's the first time I flew alone, and I thought you needed to get there like 15 minutes before your flight. which is obviously not the case.
I mean, no, that's insane. But carry on.
So I turned up and I was like, I'm really late for my flight. Can I just go to the front of the queue? And I skipped like 300 people. I still didn't get on the plane.
I mean, you're never going to make it far in life.
No, I
doing
didn't.
that.
What did you say?
You're not going to make it far in life with that attitude, surely.
That
you can't turn if you just turn up late
no.
and ask people to massively inconvenience them.
No, but the point.
No, I think people won't say no.
Yeah, the point remains that he could have done that in 2 hours if he had 2 hours to wait for his flight.
Yeah, I know.
All he would have to do.
Yeah.
Apparently, there is a psychological thing.
Yeah.
I've never tested this, but I did read about it.
Yeah.
That the word because has a huge,
it does, yeah, I've heard
has a
that.
huge psychological power. So if you go to a queue and go, oh, can I go to the front of the queue? People will say, no, why, what? If you go, oh, can I go to the front of the queue because I really need to be at the front of the queue? People will go, yeah.
Because it's that thing of wanting to...
If you give a reason, the reason can be, oh, can I go to the front of the queue because I want to be at the front of the queue?
So I turned up 50 minutes for my flight because I didn't know what I was doing.
Do you know who Tim Ferriss is?
Is it a pilot?
He's like a big podcaster.
Right.
Like self-done. And he said, he did this thing for a while and he would ask for 10% off in restaurants for no reason. He'd say, can I 10% off because I just would really like 10% off. And he said 90% of the time they gave it to him.
When I was 17, I would often get into pubs and stuff just by having the confidence to just give your ID. There is something about the psychology, isn't there? Of just going, I was just like, here you are. And it would say I was 17. Yeah. And half the time they'd be like, yeah, that's fine. The other half the time was extremely awkward, of course. All cameras flashing us.
Well, basically, it involves them doing the maths. And they're not
that was probably part of it.
But
the other half of the time, if I didn't get in, they'd be like, you have to be 18 to drink. I'd be like, in England, are you sure? And it'd be really awkward. Is that flashing at me because I'm not being interesting enough or because it's running out of battery?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like that.
It does. It's very...
Yeah. So you should be able to plug it in.
Are we carrying on or are we pausing?
No, we're
fluid. We're fluid. So you got an editing guy. I mean, you can cut all this out. So hello, editing guy, firstly, if you exist. Guy. Or girl, or whatever.
Also, the thing about Fergal is the little clips that we put on on Instagram before basically he kind of dictates
what goes on.
Because Dom will say, is there anything that stood out, what was interesting or what was funny? And he'll go, oh, this bit was quite cool. Well, and that'll become the clip. So he might very well, just because we're going, hey, Fergal's pretty cool. Fergal. He might go, oh, that bit about me was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I loved that
bit
Fergal
about me
stuff.
Was pretty damn funny and cool.
Got a 20-minute Fergal-themed show. Yeah.
He's very handsome.
Everyone needs a Fergal. Everyone needs someone to come and... That's what we all need in life, someone to get the best bits of us, I think, and put it out on there. So Fergal, I do talk very fast. I apologise. I hope you're subtitling. Is it? Fuck arsing tits.
Fuck Fergal.
Fuck
prick.
Fergal, you're still recording the audio, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Love Fergal.
He should do that and then just cuts to black on a Spotify.
Unbelievable.
Do you know who else is a prick in comedy?
Exactly.
All the comedians I know.
Exactly, while the camera's off. Oh, my God, you got your third nipple out. No, I'm just riffing, man. This is going to be edited out, Paul, then, isn't it?
I mean, we'll have to wait.
I mean, come on. Give your audience some respect.
Do people go to you with things like their third nipple and go, is there something wrong?
I do get it. People do say to me, oh, like without irony, oh, I've got like a large prostate. I'm like, I just wanted to know when our starters are ready. Do you know what I mean? I don't involve me in that. Or like at dinner parties, people will be like, oh, I got a weird rash. What do you think of it? And I'll be like, yeah, it's fucking it's horrible.
I did that to a girl I know once. I felt bad doing it.
You did it to me, did you?
What?
You didn't do it to me, did
you?
No,
to a girl I know.
Oh, dude, yeah.
But to be fair, I would have only done it because we were playing sport at the time.
Yeah.
And I had developed a rash on my leg.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to her generally. I didn't go up to her to do this.
Yeah.
We were talking. And I just went, I've got a bit of a rash on my leg. It's been annoying. And it was only because I was able to go, look at that. And she just went, nah, it looks fine.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I mean, it's awkward as well. Because
she's like, get it checked if you're worried about it, but it looks fine.
That's standard. Because if you show me your rash, I go, it's fine. And then 2 weeks later, I hear sort of young comedian dies of rash.
Yeah.
I feel a bit bad. I know. I ring up and I go, he wasn't young.
I mean, it's all, yeah.
Get your headlines right.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I do. But yeah, so you had
barely a comedian.
Barely a
young comedian dies of rash. He wasn't young, barely a comedian.
So since we're on topic, without obviously anything too serious or private, any NHS experiences for yourself? Have you had to operations or anything?
No, I had a polyp on my throat.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't. That was in Ireland.
Yeah, still hospital, isn't it? Oh, it's not the NHS in Ireland.
It's not the NHS.
What's the Irish one like? Is it right? The NHS, whatever.
Yeah, so we don't have totally free private healthcare.
Okay.
But it's heavily subsidized.
Okay.
So it's not like the US. But you do, if you go to a GP,
Yeah.
you have to pay.
Right.
But you don't have to pay that much. Like, it's heavily government subsidized.
Yeah, yeah.
You do an operation, you'll pay a few €100.
Yeah, okay.
But it's not like a US thing where you get this monstrous item.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, my life's ruined now.
It's not like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
We're back on.
I did have a prostate exam once.
Did you?
Yeah.
How was it?
I mean, it's bad that this has come back on because we've missed out.
No, this is perfect time. We're just catching up on NHS experiences. Your prostate, what are you saying?
Yeah. So, yeah. I had a prostate exam.
Yeah.
And I, first of all, you've done prostate?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, not on you, but yeah.
But, well, I wasn't suggesting right now. I mean, you want to talk about fucking Monopoly being unique with a fucking podcast. You want to say we should bring in a doctor to do a prostate exam on all our guests.
You will get the best out of your guests if you get me to prostate
Let me
exam.
tell you, it will change who they are for a few
When's
minutes.
this year meant to be?
Yeah, when is this year meant to be?
Shifting topic. The year starts in October.
Yeah.
I'll be doing comedy full time, so look out for me at nearest job centre, and that'll be very exciting. Just gonna see what happens. Live my dreams. Always been a dream of mine to live on less than minimum wage, so that's going to be exciting. And
you live off savings.
The earth.
Yeah.
Live off the earth. No, I've got some savings. I live in Stoke-on-Trent, so I mean,
Costs are low.
yeah, it's like playing The Sims with the cheat on. It doesn't. Everything's pittance. It's fantastic. So lovely place, by the way, Stoke. If you haven't been there, do move your family there. So yeah, it's very cheap in Stoke, which is nice. So I can get by, and I'll just see what happens. Keep doing it. Try and do as many gigs as I can without my girlfriend leaving me, and go from there. Sky's the limit.
Can you go back to it? You'll go back after.
Yeah, I'll sheepishly go back, and I'll be like.
But you will have to keep your, because there is now I'm flat out. Let me tell you, it's important to contextualize everything with where I get my information from. I'm basing this entirely on an episode of Scrubs, but all my medical knowledge, all comes from Scrubs.
Sure.
And there is an episode of Scrubs,
yes,
where Dr. Cox has to tell a much older doctor, who keeps prescribing really out of date medications and really everything he recommends, everything he's doing for his patients, are way
out. Yeah,
and he says to the doctor at the end, going, "He's every doctor now." If a doctor took 18 months out, they'd have to relearn everything. That stuff moves so fast that if you took a year out, there's a lot of stuff you'd have to relearn. Yeah, a lot of stuff would be out of date by the time.
There are things that which is amazing about medicine to me. That sort of, in the way there is not arrogance, but there's things that you have to do this or whatever. And then I've had things even since I've graduated where they've 180 gone, oh no, wait, that's actually good for you. So there were some drugs, without getting too technical, there were some drugs that were felt to be bad for your heart, but now they're my bad. No, you need them. There's literally that big a flip on some stuff.
Oh, it wasn't that they were bad for your heart. It's that you desperately need them
it's
for your
that
heart.
We've led thousands of people down the wrong path. Okay, fair enough. Or the alcohol vice is a classic one that they reduced that, didn't they? I always found that very funny that the alcohol vice was 14 units for, wine is bad for you unless you are a certain demographic, which is women in your 50s. I always thought that was because that was the demographic they least wanted to argue with. Yeah. They were just whatever they want to do is just fine. You can have a drink. Fuck it. Just stop writing complaints or whatever.
If ever there was a group who bloody earned it.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck it. Have what you want.
Oh, your children are just about ready to move out.
Yeah.
Have some fun.
Have a wine.
Wine is good for you.
Have some wine.
Right now, wine is good for you.
So that stuff. So stuff does change totally. And loads of, there's new, COVID didn't exist, obviously, when I started. That whole side of things. Yeah. That's new. Have you read about it? It's taken off. There's monkeypox apparently. I haven't really read about that one. I don't really know what's going on with that. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, it's all right. You won't need to know. Come October.
If it's going to affect me, it'll affect me massively from all sides all the time. So I'll get to deal with it basically. Is that my attitude?
That's a very cavalier attitude for a doctor to have.
How does your girlfriend feel about this?
Monkeypox.
No, you taking the year.
Well, I think
she's pretending to be for it.
Yeah, she's exploring her own hobby, spending a lot of time with a tennis coach.
She loves you enough to be supportive.
I think it's in your partner, you want them to feel like they've pursued their dreams. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of evenings out and away and stuff, so I got to balance that out and everything. And I think she's, she wants me to produce sort of more content. Like apparently you're a big TikTok star, is that right?
Who said that?
TikTok.
Yeah, right
He said that. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
He said, Dom looks like he's got like Instagram followers
Oh,
and stuff. And
yeah,
I
I
was
have
like,
a
he's
TikTok.
You've
like
got the little
loads of TikTok
certified
followers.
thing. Like Instagram doesn't legally give a fuck if I'm faking my own name or not, but you've got a little red circle. Isn't that the tick thing or something?
I don't have a tick.
Do you?
No.
All right, well, fair enough.
You should put more stuff out, yeah.
I definitely should put more stuff. I'm too late. I feel like
The
I'm.
thing is, you've got the clip of you up the creek. You could clip that up.
No, I should. You should produce
Screen
things.
record a joke and then subtitle it or get someone to subtitle.
I could do that, but I'm too lazy and old and cynical. I think that's the thing. Do you TikTok? Do you do that? No.
You should.
It's great. No, it's totally the way forward. But I feel like.
Well, you'll get some clips from this that you can use if you want.
Is it? I
Today.
could put that on my.
Yeah. Just as our friendly advice to you, as just two good friends, advertise our podcast.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Advertise,
And then we'll
our
get you back on when
goddamn
it's
podcast.
board games.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I've looked forward to that. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have massive social media. So I'd just be me standing up in the canteen, being like, listen to the Much Obliged podcast. They'll do board games. They do Monopoly. Not yet, but
Yeah.
they did talk about it.
They do, and just to reiterate, they do board games.
Yeah.
Board games.
Is it
Better
spelled
written down.
BOAR? No, it's spelled BO. Listen.
Yeah.
And
I'm
they're
going to
like,
get a
"Oh."
subtitle guy in, but I'm not going to explain it
Yeah.
to him, so he may or may not know.
Yeah.
How many gigs a week are you hoping to?
Again, maybe 4 or 5. It's difficult, isn't it? Because I want to, you have to gig loads to make progress. I've read, but I want to. I don't want to spend my whole life out, and I've got a cat to think about, Dom.
Have you really?
Okay.
I've just moved in with my
Cat.
friend,
All right.
and she's got a cat, and I fucking hate it.
See, if your cat's your own, it's
Hate
like
cats.
it's like other people's kids, and other people's kids aren't interesting, but your own kids, I imagine, are.
I should.
I don't know. I'm not saying mine are shit. No, I don't have kids, but as in, I have a cat, and
just
I
hate
love my
cats.
I love my cat. Yeah, she's great.
See, we've been, me and my husband, we've been cat sitting for the last 6 months, and the cat's leaving us in about 4 weeks, and I'm gonna miss the cat.
I fucking wouldn't.
It's like leaving it. It's like showing it off to university. You're gonna be.
Yeah.
Call us if you need anything.
I want to think that she'll miss us.
They just move, like they just
No,
they just move. They just go wherever they
yeah,
want.
cats. Honestly, if you fell down and died, it'd be licking your face in 3 days and wouldn't even know. Basically,
Yeah.
I'm afraid. But while it's with you,
Yeah, it's fucking cool.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
fucking cool. What's your cat's name?
Daisy.
Daisy. It's classic.
But again, this is like, and the thing is, she's quite an old cat, which means she is just quite chill.
Yeah,
There's no manic, she's not trying to fight with me or anything.
Yeah.
There's no craziness. She basically lies down somewhere and then walks somewhere else to lie there and then walk somewhere else to have a lie
that's
down
how I'm going to
there.
spend my year out. I think that's realistically what's going to happen,
It's
isn't it?
great.
I'm going to spend all day writing. No, I will do that. I'll lie down and then walk to a different area and lie down.
Yeah.
Write one word.
Write one word. Okay, excellent. That's my joke for the week. Fantastic. Why aren't the Apollo calling?
And
what
if
my
you
year's
want
gonna
to
be
as
like.
well, every so often you can just come and sit on my chest and just stare at me.
That's true.
So,
She likes that.
Yeah.
So you can do that. If
Just
you
bring you
wanna
some
go
food.
Lie
Thanks,
down on
Henry.
my chest and just
what
look.
do you think your goal would be by the end of the year?
I mean, I want to. For me, it's a make or break year, really. I mean, obviously-
Really, you'd quit if it didn't work out?
I see how I feel. I mean, not
I think
necessarily.
that's silly.
Well, thank you. Oh yeah, I mean, also I'm meant to be self-promoting, aren't I? No, I'm going. Hey, I'm going to be at the O2.
Shop.
Shop. I'll be in the lobby, boycotting his gigs, protesting.
Getting a downgrade on your contract.
Didn't pay me for the
Can't
Monopoly
afford it.
idea.
Yeah.
Um,
We're going to be in the O2. You can just buy a ticket.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
literally just buy a ticket.
That's basically it. But I just want to see what can happen if I push a bit more at it. It's my focus. Try and be a bit more disciplined about my time, writing, all that stuff, and producing content and whatever, and then see what happens. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to. I have lower ambitions than other people, I think. So obviously, you guys are going to be career comics. 10 years time, mock the week, whatever. You're going to be there, man. It's going to be like this,
Thanks,
but without the sort of slightly porn setup. But you
With
guys
a
can
Monopoly board.
with a Monopoly board. Yeah, it's going to be
Do
your
you
thing.
think this is casting couches?
It does look a bit exploitative.
I don't even know if that's still a thing, by the way.
I mean, it is. But yeah, no. So I want to. I have some mid-level ambitions. I want to be really good. I want to be an interesting voice. I want to.
You're already good.
Oh, stop it! But do continue.
You
But I want to be have a kind of a good body of material and stuff and be good. I don't mind if I'm not top. kind of top comedian, 100 best comedians. I'll be 101.
Well, a
That's
year's
fine.
not that long, though.
Every year
I
is.
think
Well,
it's the
hey,
thing.
man, I had 33 of them. Tell me, all right? I know they go quick, but yeah, no, it's just kind of a bit of a spurt at it. See how I feel emotion at the end of it, kind of thing. It takes a lot, as I'm sure it takes a lot to be a proper comedian, doesn't it? You have to giggle a lot. It's a lot of that self doubt, a lot of all those things, But how's your mind? Do you switch between sort of wavering self doubt and overarching confidence, or are you?
Well, if I do a bad gig, I generally blame the audience initially.
Nice.
Like last night was that what just was the audience.
Okay.
Like the compare did 25 minutes, and then I had to open the show. That's stupid, isn't it?
And I do it again.
25 minutes.
That's
Yeah, I
quite.
do it
Do
again.
it again.
I was because I was filming it, so I started my watch. I thought, all right, he'll do 10 minutes. I'll start the film at 7,
Yeah.
and then I'll go on. So I started the film at 7. Went backstage. I was there for 20 more minutes. 25. Everyone when I got on left to go and get a drink because they just had a section. 25 minutes.
That is long.
So I went on, and obviously they didn't. I won them over, but they didn't enjoy, and I didn't enjoy that. But I do sometimes think. I gig a lot, but I do sometimes think, oh, is this worth it? Sometimes, but I think, what the fuck else am I going to do?
Well, that's it. I guess that's
Because I
it.
invested so much time and money into it at this point.
But that is a motivating factor, isn't it? You sort of go, it does feel like that, it's a bit like if I quit medicine or something, all those skills.
You've already got a good career, whereas this is all I really want to do.
No, and I'm very lucky in that way that I do know that if,
Not luck, though, is it?
no, I've worked.
It's 5 years, I bet.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah, no, it's my parents' wealth combined with a lot of exams. That's what it is. But yeah, no, but I do have that as well. I mean, how do you feel about your comedy? Are you kind of, do you get up and down about it, or are you kind of pretty happy about it? Or
I am down, and then I'm mid-level, and then I'm down, and I'm mid to low, and then I'm down, and then I'm mid.
What's the worst gig you've ever had?
Oh, the worst gig I've ever had. See, the thing is, there's kind of two ways to answer this.
Brick House Social
Going
3
back.
weeks ago.
No, I've only had a good time at the Brick House Social. Because the thing is, I've done some really terrible gigs,
Yeah.
but that were not even blame the audience, but we've most comedians will have done gigs where they've been like, they've showed at a pub where nobody even knew comedy was going to be happening.
Yeah.
Somebody has given you a mic and said, go stand in that corner.
Yeah.
And you've had to go up and go, hello, anyone? Can I just interrupt your fun for a minute? Guys, we're having fun over there. Do you mind just stop having fun and listening to me for a minute? It might also be fun, but I know you're already having fun with your friends.
There's a much lesser chance this is going to be fun than what you're
Do you want to
experiencing.
listen to a stranger instead of your friends? Yeah. So there's that. And then there's, the gigs that I hate way more are nicely set up gigs. It's like you've got a stage, a room full of people facing the right direction. And I've just done shit.
Yes,
they're worse.
Yeah.
Because the worst gig I've ever done was a gig that literally was this long, really thin bar. I was put in the middle of it. There was a mic that was stuck into the wall. Like you open this metal thing, and then there was this mic on a really
like a boxing
tiny,
mic, kind of like coming down from the ceiling.
Just like it had a really short wire. And so there was a load of people just behind me. There was like a step halfway up this bar. This was in, I believe it was Kells in County Meath, Ireland. And there was just a step halfway along this really long, thin bar. So I was just halfway up the bar, but meant to be facing that direction, but with more than half the bar behind me.
Oh my God.
And the mic didn't work. And so I was just doing it. Nobody could hear me. They all just chatted. Nobody heard a word I was saying. And there was two girls that were just like a few feet away from me.
Yeah.
So they're only about 5 or 6 feet away, just there. And they were smiling and laughing. And I thought, well, look, this is a nightmare, but I have a couple of people. So play to the people who are listening.
Yeah.
Get a nightmare gig like this, play to the people who are listening. So I turned to these two girls and I was just like, oh, so, hey, what's your name? And they just went, we can't actually hear you. So they just, out of pure politeness, were just standing there going.
That is definitely a supporting factor for a lot of my comedy career has been people's politeness.
I'll tell you what I really didn't enjoy was doing the brunches, hosting them. I didn't really enjoy
but that's a different thing. There's a different...
It's like these bottomless brunches and you have to go and do comedy and then a drag act goes on. You get paid quite nicely and it's in the day, but...
Wow.
But they're not comedy shows.
They're not, but
so
it
you're
really made me hate
hosting...
it.
A brunch.
You're
hosting
a comedian
brunch.
who's hosting these
Brunch is
things,
self-host. Why are people You don't need. Why do you
No,
have
'cause
to
they have performers and stuff. So you
Just pick up the eggs or
welcome
whatever.
everyone to the whole thing,
Oh,
and then you
okay.
bring on like
To
because they
be
usually
fair,
have
if
singers
halfway
or
through a
performers.
brunch, just someone in a drag act just came out and started singing, it would be a bit
No, I did
jarring.
one. There was like it was on. They don't work for them anymore, so fuck it. But
I do.
That's
Great. I've got one coming up soon.
It
But
was
they're
on-
really nice.
It was like a St. Paddy's Day when it was in the evening, 8 at night at Beer Keller in Manchester.
Yeah.
And they said, can you do 15 minutes?
Yeah.
And there's going to be a musical act doing Irish music. And then you do 15 more minutes.
Oh wow.
And then 15 more, 45 minutes.
What?
And I did 5 at the top. And I was like, that's enough for me. And I went, fuck this. And I just didn't. Because it was that everyone was dancing on tables. It's like Kieran said, stop dancing on tables, sit down and listen to me talk about
totally.
Bob the Builder.
Yeah.
It's not-
Exactly. Some nicely observed, but fairly, whatever.
Well, that's the thing, because you do have to you have to take control of the.
Yeah.
So if somebody says, "Oh, we want you to run up and do 15," sometimes you have to be like, "That's a bad idea."
That's going to ruin
Look,
everyone's lives.
Here's what should
Well, I
happen.
wouldn't say it's going to ruin their lives.
I did-
It might ruin their
Might
night.
ruin their
Lives
lives.
is a bit extreme.
You don't know what their lives are based on.
That's true. They could, I did one gig. This genuine story where in London, where
Why are you holding the headphones still?
I don't know. I just like gesturing. I put them on my lap like I'm telling a story.
You are telling a story.
Yeah, you are, yeah.
Gather round, children. So I was in London and I was doing a rubbish shop pub thing, and they had a separate function room, a bit like when you can't see if you're watching this, but it was separated by an archway, not by a door. And in the other function room was a funeral wake. Genuine, like that close to us.
Ready for your death.
Well, the problem is, the temptation would be to make jokes about it, but it was real people grieving over a real person who died, and you couldn't even reference it. You just had to be like, "Oh, how's everyone?" Yeah, it's just through there. Actually, I'm sorry for your loss.
But even if you didn't reference it, just the sound drain of so it's just like you're having this wake the other side, you're having this funeral. Go, oh, he was a good man. He was a lovely. And just over here, you can hear like, "What's the deal with the girl is sucking your cock?"
Yeah, let's have a minute silence for Bill.
Why are you holding your...
I was trying to do a slightly muffle. Like, you're in the other room, but you can definitely just get this like just this, like this feed of blah 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 blah. What's the deal?
Or the other way around. Like, go on a second.
Blah, blah, blah.
They're just doing a hymn. Give them a second. They're doing a hymn.
Because I really struggle to be inauthentic and pretend I'm enjoying something when I'm not. So if a gig's shit and I get there, I'll just go, this is a fucking shit.
Right,
show,
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
I do have I sometimes get a feeling about 45 seconds in. I'm like, this is
like I did the gig yesterday.
be rough.
The comp I did 25, and then I went on. You haven't seen me for a while, do comedy?
No, but yeah, I remember.
And I do this. I speak slowly and quite slowly now.
Okay.
Hi.
All right.
Yeah, I go evening. I'm Dom, and then leave a cat. Dom Hatton-Woods never goes, "Hi, Dom, for fuck's sake, this isn't what this is." I talk, you listen, shut up.
Okay.
And that was 30 seconds in. And I was like, okay, this is going to be rough. Because I'm just basically, because the comp, I was like, hi, everyone, I'm talking to them. And I was like, no, stop, shut up. And then I said, and I started again. And that, which is kind of funny. And they just didn't. But the night before, I did the Comedy Cellar in London, in Bracknell.
Oh, wow, okay.
Which was amazing.
You just say in London in Bracknell?
It's not in London, is it?
No, that's a separate
The thing is, when I got there, I thought it was in London. And tell you what,
Northerners.
I accept, because the girl I'm
Bracknell. What are you talking about, Bracknell?
So
I did a gig in Spain, in Paris.
I stayed in London and in Fulham, right?
Yeah, that isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to Covent Garden. So I got it at like 2 p.m.
He's just listing parts of London he knows.
So I got
now,
it at
'cause
like
you've
I
got
barely
shit.
knows.
I got to Euston.
Yeah.
And I swapped my SIM that day.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a new SIM, and I didn't realise that the 3G doesn't kick in instantly. It takes a few hours.
Yeah.
Like it took like 7 hours. So I was in London getting to this place I didn't know with no 3G. I couldn't text anyone because no one texts these days.
Don't they?
So I fucking had to get from London, Euston to Bracknell.
Yes.
And the hardest bit was getting...
The hardest bit is that you're pronouncing it wrong. I think that's the hardest
Is
bit.
it? How did you pronounce it?
Bracknell.
Bracknell.
It's not Bracknell.
Okay. So
It's like a type of
maybe that's
French
why they were
cuisine. I love the Bracknell.
no, but that was difficult. And then I got there and that was lovely, well-run club, amazing.
Yeah.
And then go and do this shitty... Well, it was fine. The pro's a really nice guy and it, got paid, which is good. But it was irritating.
Yes. Fair enough. Well, I hope you had a good experience in Bracknell.
When you got booked for the funeral gig,
yes,
which is still what I think of it
yeah,
as being, even though it wasn't explicitly for.
Yeah, that wasn't like.
Did anyone did anyone say to the promoter, or to the venue, you've double booked the space with a funeral?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think they were having a better time than we were at our gig.
Did you get paid?
No. No. Oh, funny stuff. No, this was like me starting out in London.
You don't really get paid in London, do you?
I didn't.
Yeah.
But that's because at that stage I was talentless.
Like I was with Taddy.
Yeah, I know Tad.
Yesterday. We were together, and he's doing really well.
Yeah,
and he's getting very few paid. Like, well, he said like not as many as you'd think.
Yeah, he's great. I know Tad from I think he probably even started after me. I think, but yeah, I knew Tad from the early days. But yeah, David, I found it very, very tough. I mean, it was fun, but tough. And then up here, it's well, you guys gig mostly in Manchester and stuff, don't you? Is that right?
Anywhere really?
Oh, yeah.
But I'm mostly in the Midlands and that, so I mean, that's why you haven't heard of me. By the way, that's totally the reason.
Loads of people in the Midlands listening to this going.
Nottinghamshire.
I don't know
when's Henry Michael coming back? Anyway, so I do a lot of gigs in Top Derby and that kind of stuff like that. But and those are really nice, friendly gigs. And like when I came up here, the first gig back was 10 minutes. Like for me in London, that'd be a rarity, That's just kind of standard up here. And there's audiences and things. I mean, we've all done gigs like three people, literally 3 people.
Less than that.
Yeah, I did a gig to 2 people once, and I was like, if one person leaves, that is just me having a weird conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
And like, if then that person needs to go to the loo or something, what do I stop or do I carry on? Do you know what I mean? Can they ask me what was that, and I do it again? How does that dynamic work? Very strange. Very
it's not
awful.
fun. It's not enjoyable. If I wouldn't go if I was at a comedy show and no one else turned up, I would just leave. If I was an audience member, I would leave.
I do feel for I do want to go around to every audience member who goes to an open mic here. I want to go thank you. Like, you should get volunteer work hours for this.
I wouldn't go to an open mic comedy.
You should be able to count this. Your Duke of Edinburgh.
I wouldn't go and watch open mic comedy. Would you?
Well, I mean, I would see one and then probably not go for several. If I'm being honest with you, I would see one to see what it looks like and the freshness of it, but then I probably wouldn't go. I wouldn't go all the time.
I wouldn't go to a sign-up night to watch.
No, I think I'll do that once in my life as an experience, and then probably.
But they do drastically waver in quality.
Yeah, there are.
But like,
you see some great stuff.
You take a risk, but like,
there's
a lot of.
Yeah.
I'd rather just pay £5.
Well, but some of the honestly, some of the best comedy I've seen is at our level of people, or just someone's just got a great idea or whatever. The jokes I remember now, I think about, or if I tell my, friends, are often from comedians who are kind of on their way up. There is obviously great stuff on telly and that, but that's some of the best stuff that's really resonated. Is that stuff? I think I've seen some amazing jokes at kind of amateur level and stuff.
What's your favourite?
I can't do other people's jokes, but
well, if you credit them, I think it's okay.
All right, James Heath, I've so fantastic. James Heath. Yeah, I can't do it. But he go and watch him. He's great.
Okay.
I don't think who I really like.
I agree, and he's also surprisingly good at football.
Is he?
He's really
doesn't look like he would be.
Good.
I don't really know.
He doesn't.
Looks like be good at computer
I don't
hacking.
want to be insulting if James is watching this, but you wouldn't look at him and go, "Oh, he's going to be a really good footballer."
He is the right kick.
He's silky skills, man. He's just deceptively skillful.
That's why I like.
I've got him covered, and then he'll just all of a sudden be passing.
Well, that's why I like football, because we don't have to be simple. Like when I was fat as a kid, but I was weak. So I was
just sort of, I was fat as a kid, but on the positives,
I was weak.
I was fat, but I was weak.
I was physically and emotionally weak, so I couldn't do. So rugby, I would get people go, "Hey, why don't you go and try some rugby?" And then after one session, they'd be like, "That's why you shouldn't do rugby." Whereas football, you can be any body type or whatever, and you can play it. I mean, I end up in goal most of the time, but
personally.
Golf man.
I like golf.
Do you?
In
theory, well, rugby used to be. Before it became professional and every player is a monster.
Yeah.
It used to be the game that was suitable for different body types.
Yeah.
Because like if you were like a kind of short, heavy set, it's just we have got a position.
Yeah, we got
for
prop
you.
or whatever. Yeah.
You there, you're in the front row.
Yeah.
Oh, big lanky kid.
Yeah.
You are going to be our second row.
Yeah.
Stronger, like just stronger, powerful guys, back row.
Whatever.
You're a short guy.
If you're Henry, admin,
scrum half.
You can do the admin for the team.
So it used to be a sport where now everyone has to be an absolute monster.
Because I went to Cardiff Uni, we'd obviously international rugby scene quite a lot. So I remember not infrequently, I'll be on a night out chatting to some girl. It's going all right. Just play it cool, swear, whatever. That's back when I had hair. I don't know what I'm doing now, but chat.
Stop sweating.
Stop sweating, exactly.
That's
where it went.
Your hair,
that's right. It was just washed out with the sweat. And then like an international rugby team would come into the club. And like the South African rugby team would come in, and the girls would be like, "I'm just gonna," and you'd be like, "Yeah, that's fine.
That's fair enough.
Fair enough."
I do the same thing.
It's like me playing acoustic guitar and then Glastonbury sets up next to me. It was like they're just fine.
Yeah, the Coldplay just there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, so that would happen all the time. I mean, I just be like, just go on then. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I felt for you there. I really felt that.
Yeah,
resignation of,
so many times.
Go and have sex with somebody handsome. So
Yeah, I
if
just
you must
let me know how it is.
Golf?
Do I golf?
Ever play golf?
I have played a little bit of golf. Yeah.
Good?
I'm all right. Like I'm better at crazy golf.
Okay.
Which I know is not obviously a professional athletic sport, but I'm okay.
There was this kid in my school that would always brag about being a pro athlete. He was older. He would never tell anyone what his sport
Really?
was. Power walking. He power walked for England.
But he had an amazing arse.
So
That sounds a weird
he's
thing
just
to
good at
say.
being
but-
late, isn't he?
Yeah,
That's all it is.
That's just
He's good at being late.
or getting in front of traffic that's pausing for it.
Yeah.
That is
That's not a sport.
Well, we had Britain's number 2 Pokemon master.
We had a
in
class
here.
once. Everyone just did it to take the piss out of him.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough
It's in
power
the
walking.
Olympics.
Why don't you just run
Yeah, I mean that.
or
Yeah,
get a bike?
that is a tough sport visually. So we had
Power
Britain's number 2 Pokemon master, and he didn't look like an athlete. He looked like he'd been rescued from a cave.
Do
but
you
he
have
was
to
great.
have athletic ability to be?
The
I
a
don't
Pokemon
know.
master?
Quite
I
the
think it's a
opposite, I
sport.
think. Really.
So I
Yeah. I don't think you have to fight the Pikachu yourself.
Yeah, no, it's not boxing.
the actual
yeah.
battle.
Yeah, no, you have to be excellent at pressing the A button.
challenge Pikachu.
I'm trying to think what else. We had actually, no, it wasn't my school, but I knew of a kid who was the youngest kid to go to the South Pole.
well,
He was like 15 or something, and
Who
it
would
was
do that?
and it wasn't not like in a group, like just him and one guy basically, with what I can only imagine is the world's most robust CRB check. But they basically went to the South Pole, and he was in the Guinness World Records and the papers and stuff. 15 years old, South Pole.
well.
Pretty amazing, isn't
I
it?
don't see why
Pretty
people
cool.
go on like trips like that when they're young. Like people go to like this might sound a bit bad, and I warn you that it might. But
Okay.
people go to like places to look at like the less fortunate,
Yeah.
and they just go back home to live.
Yeah,
their
no,
privileged life.
I know what you mean. There was a little go and get a profile picture in.
And people
in
are like, oh, I
somewhere
want to
and-
go and you should go and see. Well, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, no, yeah, I
Oh.
totally agree. It's a weird voyeuristic thing about going and building a school. You're putting one brick in a school,
Mm.
and then you're like, right, I want a picture with, one of those kids, please.
Like
And
Jeff
then-
Innocent, he's a comic and he's got this bit in his comedy now. He'll say something and he'll go for the NHS. Because now everyone just does that, don't they? Just
Is that
go,
what they do?
I'm just doing it for the NHS.
Yeah.
He goes, I fucked your wife, mate. For the NHS.
Oh, yeah.
It's really funny.
That's a round of applause for
I also
That is Jeff Innocent, but not me.
but when people like
Do
do
you know Jeff Innocent?
not personally,
Okay.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like when people go, oh, I'm going to do bungee jumping. Will you sponsor me?
For
Like,
the
no, that
NHS.
sounds fun. That sounds like a.
I've done that.
Have you?
Have you?
I've bungee jumped and I've got sponsorship for it.
Did you really?
It's great.
Yeah, but no one really runs a marathon for charity. No one really gives a shit about unless
No, but
someone
I will
in your
say
family
this.
dies from that, and that's fair enough. It's good-
Yeah.
good
No,
on
but I
you.
will say, as somebody who's run a half marathon for this stuff, it is a fucking miserable time.
Yeah.
So yeah, you are doing it in like I'm doing this for myself and a personal achievement, and I've said to do this. But if you're like, it's not like, because I wanted to bungee jump, because bungee jumping is fun and exciting and interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
So I raised money so I could do something fun, exciting, and interesting. I ran a half marathon.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kill myself with every step. So it's like, if you hate me, sponsor me for the charity.
Make me have
Rest
to do it.
assured,
Did you raise
you will
anything?
have. I will be having a fucking miserable
Did you
time.
raise anything?
Actually, it was when I ran the 10K that I made the most money.
I feel like we should cut this out.
Why?
Just trying to be,
What?
me trying to be
I
like
was
nice and
interested.
charitable.
What's your guy's name again? The editing guy?
Ferg.
Ferg knows what he can edit
He
out. It's
knows.
fine. We're just
He knows
enjoying
what's
ourselves.
going on.
Poor Ferg.
But no, I made a few £100.
Did you?
But like running is miserable.
Running,
It's
I
awful.
think, because
Yeah.
unless you're a marathon runner, I don't get anyone- but like the ones that like bungee jumping for charity, it's just stupid, isn't it?
Well,
Just go bungee jumping.
Well, I did a half marathon for just for no one, just for myself, just to reduce awareness about certain causes. But I remember being overtaken by people running for charities, and it was getting worse. I was so getting worse, and like chronic fatigue would overtake me.
Yeah.
Or like sort of muscular problems or something would just be faster than me, and I'd be like, I really am doing bad.
What I will say is, if you've got someone that is like going down, dying, and if you put out, and you're trying to raise money to help this person, good. I'm all for that.
Okay.
But
I'm
that's
nervous now.
That's
What
what
are
I
you
will
gonna say
say. No, exactly. That's a good thing.
Oh, that's the complete statement. I thought there was going to be a second
Yeah,
half,
no,
like,
but
but fuck them. Am I
No,
right?
Yeah.
no, I'm trying to raise money for this person.
If the
That's
NHS
good.
is
That's a
free,
good
what are you
thing.
doing? I mean, we know that we've got it. We pay for it. I mean, fine, raise 40 quid for their parking or whatever, but we've got it
What?
covered.
Parking.
Yeah, but
40 quid. How long is it? 5 minutes? Is it?
yeah, about that. Yeah, to be honest
No,
with
they're
you.
going away for a week, so
But yeah, you done much other charity? Done any charity gigs? Done any charity gigs? For
Doing
people?
one this evening.
Are you?
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Who for?
Do it.
Ruffle.
No, I'm doing one for Jimmy Shirley in Liverpool
Oh yeah.
this evening.
Oh, nice. Then he's not the cause.
He's not the cause. Well,
Could be.
no, he is not the cause.
Okay.
What is the cause?
I can't remember.
You can.
Oh, come on.
No, it isn't. It's a charity because I've done it for him before. He worked quite closely with the
Yeah.
specific charity, and about 3-4 months ago,
Are they good gigs?
it was lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was. Because it's mostly people who he knows
Yeah.
and stuff who are coming to support him,
Right,
supporting the charity. But it meant like a packed out night of
Yeah,
really
nice.
lovely.
Well, I
There'll
did
be
a,
about 50 people.
I did a gig in Durham last night, and it did feel like I was doing care work. I'll be honest.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
but I've never done.
But you didn't know.
Oh no, I've done a gig for Ukraine.
Have you? Good.
I've also been to Ukraine.
Excellent. Not
Not
at the same
recently,
time, I
not
guess.
recently,
Yeah.
obviously.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been sentenced to death by the Russians, but they're trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get him released.
exactly. Whilst,
Kiev. Went to
You must
Kiev.
have done charity gigs. They're quite common.
Yeah, that one for Ukraine.
I've done plenty of charity gigs.
Well, they're normally unpaid. That's a problem. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you're not gonna be like,
true
I do
yeah.
loads of them. I do
Like,
Like,
loads of
after
them.
Dom's fee, we've raised 12 quid.
Yeah.
So
No, I do loads
not
of
enough
them.
for the children's wing, but we can maybe help them out.
I do loads of unpaid stuff.
I did one for
But
the,
he also wants £40 for his parking. So
Yeah.
that's actually
So
that's it. We're all
we're actually going to have to turn off one of the machines. I
less machine.
yeah, we do. I did one for the Headstrong or Headway, the charity, the brain trauma charity. That was a nice one to do.
Mm.
That was good. But I mean, there's no bad charity. I mean, there's no help the Nazis or whatever. There's all good, all good charities, isn't it? So charity gig. When you're like, I don't know the name of the charity, it's like, it's fine. I
I
assume
would
it's a good
do.
thing.
I haven't been asked to do that many. Is the thing.
I've actually, yeah, I've done a couple. I think because NHS people think, oh, that'd be nice. I'm like, yeah, but my material's a bit, sort of, but it goes both ways on that. But people, it's tricky
It
making
doesn't matter though. They're still adults.
Yeah,
they're
they-
the exact same as
they get
normal
it.
gigs.
Yeah, no, totally. But
And sometimes, like, you have to. Oh, of course, this is for the charity. So I mean, obviously, like maybe tone down, and then just everyone gets up and does their normal set.
yeah,
Nobody
totally. Yeah,
cares.
yeah.
Still a room full of adults on a night out watching.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah,
They
totally.
don't-
People want to be entertained, doesn't it?
Mm.
That's a good one. Would you set up chat? If you had to do a chat, what charity is close to your heart, other than sort of trying to bump off your nan, obviously, apparently.
I don't really know, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't really. Thing is, these days, if you like, when you go to like a petrol station and it says, "Would you like to donate this to charity?"
Yeah.
The cashier always just presses no. they just do it because they know they're not going to.
Well, from the look of your face, you mean?
No, they just go
Yeah.
no.
Oh.
They just say press no on that one.
To be fair, a lot of like.
But then when it's had a tip, they obviously.
Yeah.
Because a lot. I was literally going to say, so many of the restaurants have just automatically hit no on.
Yeah, they just do that. Yeah, because most people don't do it.
Yeah.
I do. At McDonald's, I round up.
Do you?
Yeah, that's what I do.
How often do
Okay,
you go to
you
McDonald's?
have that penny. McFlurries are 99p. So.
How often do you go to McDonald's?
Not often enough. Not often enough
'Cause
to
I
make
go
an impact on
regularly and
charity. put it
I
that way.
rarely round up.
You really round it. Hey, man. Well, I always round up,
Yeah.
both emotionally and charitably. That's what I always do. No, so I'd like to, but that'd be a
He's
nice.
on that sweet McFlurry money. Though,
Oh, absolutely.
He's
yeah.
rolling.
Maybe you should run a
Exactly.
charity gig.
Maybe I should run a charity.
You run a
gig.
gig, I feel like.
I keep talking about doing it. That's the
Well, I
difference.
felt like you had one in Stoke.
I do actually. I do. Yeah, Comedy Kiln. Hey man, Comedy Kiln. Stoke-on-Trent. It's good fun. Josh Reynolds is kind of he's like the head. I'm like the deck to his aunt kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So he sort of is the main one. So yeah, it's a really nice gig. We've filled out the
I'm
room.
going to say there's going to be some Dick fans watching.
Exactly. Yeah,
There's also going to be
exactly.
some comedians
very
message you saying, "Can I do your gig?"
angry Geordie.
Yeah.
Please do. It's a lovely gig. We fill out
When's
the
the
room.
next one?
Next one is runs it monthly, but I think we're going twice monthly in August or so. So
By the way, that's me you're talking about.
What?
Is it bloody comedians messaging?
Yeah, I was going to ask
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
That's why I
yeah.
asked when the next
Me.
one was.
fine, absolutely fine. We put me on yours, but yeah. So that's good, and I'm thinking about running one in with my year in. Although to be honest, with you, I didn't realise that.
It's a good way to make a regular income and get regular stage time.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it's whether people will come down to Stoke from it because I always drive every time I do a gig. I have to drive.
Well,
I mean,
there's
I
the
get to
gig-
leave Stoke, which is a great feeling,
come
but
to
I get to.
Stoke.
Yeah. So I would have you down. Yeah.
Oh, I did a charity gig in Stoke the other day.
Did you?
Well, that was.
Why are they asking me? I live there. What the fuck?
A
Jesus.
month ago, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I was alive.
I've
then.
done a gig in A Up Duck. That's it.
That was a paid gig, by the way, just for the.
God damn it! I can't even get on the stage in my local town.
also
There's about 8
paid.
comedians in Stoke.
Mine was also paid. A Up Duck.
I did actually donate to the charity though as well.
Did you? What?
Yeah, just to be
What?
nice.
£5 of the £100 fee.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, they were selling some just little things, and I was like, oh, I'll buy. And I've done it with charity gigs that have, because sometimes you'll get like just a nominal, like a, just expenses.
Yeah.
And they'll give you like, oh, just £10 as a thank you for coming down. And if they're having a raffle as well, I'll just go, oh, give me £10 worth of tickets.
Really? Is that what you've said?
Yeah, I've done that before.
You raffled your own payment?
Yeah,
do you even stay for the raffle? Or do you
Did you give it to a little kid on the way out and go, believe in your dreams?
Yeah.
I've done a charity gig where I was one of the acts and won the raffle and said, pick out another. It looks a bit father.
Does look, yeah.
Somebody involved in the show actually won last time. So I'm like, no.
What a great bloke.
People assume that you're involved in the whole thing.
Yeah,
but in actual fact, you're just a comic that was booked.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So it is a bit like, the person who you think helped run this
totally.
is now taking away.
Just weird if you've taken more from the. Yeah.
So I will go, just do it again. Draw another number.
Right.
Very good. Yeah, I've never won anything massive from that, actually. You ever won anything crazy big? You ever won a holiday or anything like that?
No, I've never won. What? No, I did once, and we just didn't go.
You think, really?
It was a golf holiday, me
Yeah.
and my mate, and then the flights were more than, because they went in to pay for the accommodation.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And the flight was more, so we thought, fuck it.
It's cheeky, isn't it?
Yeah, cheeky bastards.
Cheeky
And we were like
bastards.
18 years old, I wanted to get to Magaluf. We did that instead.
For all the golf there, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, we were priced out of it by the flights.
Yeah.
So we flew somewhere else.
Magaluf.
That's
yeah.
not the same.
Hold
as
up
being
under
priced
scrutiny.
out.
Magaluf. I never did the Magaluf thing. I was never.
No, I didn't go to Magaluf, I went to Kavos. I did a season there, actually.
Season of what?
That was a very posh season of what?
No, but is that ski?
Working. No, it's at Greece, Corfu.
But isn't the term a season for like ski season? Like if you're just,
Well, the season is the summer, isn't it?
isn't that just being there for a period of time? Isn't it?
Well,
Do you see
that's 2 months.
all right. Do
Working?
you see what I'm saying? Though? It's ski season, like you go and you work for the ski
I
season.
worked.
You can't just have it. That's just staying
I
in one
worked.
place for a while, isn't it?
I worked.
Are you working?
Yeah, on a bar.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not doing your tax. I don't know why
I
I'm
earned
pressing
the
you so
money.
hard on it.
I worked for 6 hours a night and I earned €30.
Did you?
Yeah.
There you are.
I mean,
And-
they ripped you off.
The thing is, when I got
That's like
there,
doing comedy, isn't it?
I thought the euro and pound was still massively off. So I
Right.
got there and I got a pizza and an orange juice for €20, which I thought I was robbing them, and really they were robbing me.
Yeah.
I
Quite right.
didn't realise.
In fact, yeah. You ever done the sort of laddie holiday thing?
No.
Never done it.
Not at all.
No, we didn't do that at all.
Like,
I think we went to the Tate Modern. That was our
Did you?
after our A
that's
levels?
Quite laddie.
Just had our emotions stirred by the irony in the art.
How long have you been a doctor for now?
11 years,
Wow.
10 and a bit. I don't know. A while, quite long. Look at
In
my
Stoke?
face. No, I've only been in Stoke a year and a half, 2 years.
So what ward do you work at?
It's very specific. I'm general. I'm a generalist. I'm like a blank tile in Scrabble. So I sort
So
of
do
do
you have to
everything.
drive far to get to your job?
No. I live right around the corner, which is great.
Patients come to your house? Is that what
Patients
you
come
say?
to my house, exactly, and then I heal
Come on
them
in.
like the Lord. No, that's again not true. No, I work at general. I don't know what I'm talking about. I work in general medicine. So like during COVID, they all came via. When I was on shift, they'd all sort of come via Henry, basically. So, it's called acute medicine. It basically means shit quickly, basically. So if you're bad enough to get into hospital, you come usually through me, kind of thing.
Sure.
Come through me, is that all right?
You're a bouncer.
I'm a bouncer, but I let
Just a
everybody in,
hospital
and also there's a 12-hour wait to get in.
It's a note with those bloody trainers.
Exactly. All right, I'll let you in this time. Yeah, you don't let fit people in hospital quicker. It doesn't work that way. But quite the opposite.
Did you have a wee?
I'm sorry?
Did you go to the toilet?
I did. Thank you for asking.
That's
Is this your new thing?
You were on the phone saying like, really need the toilet, but I never saw you went to the toilet. So I thought you might have just been.
Yes,
polite
thank you for
and
asking me
doing
live on the podcast.
That's
I did.
fine.
I
Also, we're like a full hour in.
it. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just like, even it was so
Yeah.
ahead of killing.
Oh no, I've
And
been
then-
twice right here. Have
Yeah.
you not noticed? That's why I looked
I
uncomfortable.
just remembered an hour and a half.
Yeah.
ago. Did you need to go to the toilet?
I did. Yeah. I've been to have my insulin as well. I didn't remember. Yeah.
Good.
No, that's not true. But yeah. So yeah, hospital. What was I talking about? What wasn't where?
I do think we should wrap this up though, because we do have to give up the studio in a
We
few
do.
minutes, and I would prefer that the show was not ended by a door open.
No, I agree with you. And
So-
yeah, there we
No,
are.
thanks, man.
I'm gonna-
Even though I said at the start I wouldn't watch this, I have actually enjoyed this experience. With
That's
you. And when
very
it
honest
does-
of you.
When it does transition to board games, we'll get you to do that as well.
That would be a pleasure. Thank you. I've enjoyed the experience too.
Thanks, man.
It's been a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much,
Thanks, man.
guys. Thanks everyone for watching or listening or
subscribe.
however.
Yeah.
Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Thank you very much again to our fantastic guest, Henry Michael.
Catch him at the O2 shop.
Absolutely, exactly. If you thought this was great, check out the Patreon.
Catch him at, yeah.
There isn't even a Patreon yet.
All right,
There will be. There will be.
Excellent.
By the time people have started watching this,
Be very excellent.
be.
I'm excited to see what clip your bloke puts up. If it's one of you asked me, do I want a wee out of nowhere?
I hope it's just one of just me and Dom having a back and forth.
Yeah, it will be, won't it? It'll be you playing Monopoly after I've gone home.
Yeah. Shall we?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, thanks.
Much obliged, everybody. Thanks.